for sale sign on a big old rusty tractor. You can't miss it. It's the first thing that you see. Just up the road, a pale blue water tower. I love Jenny painted in brown.
To On the Move radio show at iVetX Studios in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm your host, Melissa. This show is for you. It is your informational source for veteran businesses and veteran career seekers. I want to share as much information as possible with you, and I want you all to be successful in whatever you do. I have a special guest today, Mr. Mark Woods, successful entrepreneur, trainer, and author of Attack Your Day Before It Attacks You. Hi, Mark. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
I'm very excited as well. I've heard so many things about you and your book that I have so many questions, and I'm really excited for the next hour.
Good. Well, I'm happy to be here, and we'll answer anything that you shoot at me.
You got it. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, you have been an entrepreneur for many years. I don't want to age ourselves because I don't do that.
Yeah.
So a few years.
A long time. A long time. In fact, back in the late 80s, I would say my first business was actually mowing lawns, believe it or not. And my dad, for Christmas a couple of years ago, actually, he had saved a flyer from the very first business that I had going out and soliciting for getting lawns and stuff. And so I framed it, and it was a really neat surprise. But I've been in the training industry, in and out of it for about 15 years now. And I've owned several businesses, but I'm having a lot of fun with what we're doing now with the book, Attack Your Day Before It Attacks You, and we've been having a lot of success with it. And it's fun to get feedback from readers on how just the simple skills and techniques that we teach in the book have made a huge impact on their life. So
that is fantastic. Now, you're native Arizona.
I'm not.
No.
Actually. Yes. I know. You would think so looking at me because I'm so comfortable being here. I love the heat. I moved here about six and a half years ago.
That's it?
Yes, 6.5 years ago. I came from Utah, of all places, and grew up in the mountains there. And when I came down here, I realized that I should have been here a long time. I love the heat.
That's why you look like you have been here your whole life. You ran away from the snow like I did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't do winters, so I'm assuming that you like the summers more than you like the snow.
I do. I always try to get back and ski at least 1 week, and I didn't make it up there this year. I'm a little disappointed because they've had so much snow up there, and my friends like to rub it in and send me messages on Facebooks when they're up on the mountain skiing, so it's nice to visit, but I can deal with 110 degree days
It's nice to come
anytime.
home.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, your book,
Yes.
Attack Your Day Before It Attacks You. Now, I feel like it's been written just for me. Because, I was looking through one of your blogs today, and I realized that it is written just for me. I am one of those that try to handle so many things going on at the same time, and I'm juggling the balls. So what brought this book to fruition? What started it?
Well, it's a long story.
I'm here all
The
night.
short version. Co-authored the book with my dad. My dad, Trapper Woods. Mm-hmm. He was in the training industry for, I want to say probably 25, 26 years. And he was mentored by one of the great time management gurus back in the 70s and 80s, Charles Hobbs. And he traveled around the world teaching people about time management. And in about 2005, started working on this book. We began working on it together. And we'd write a little bit, then we'd put it aside, then we'd write a little bit, then we'd put it aside. And my father actually was diagnosed with cancer. It kind of hit us out of the blue.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It was one of those things that, you're never prepared for.
Absolutely not.
And he was always healthy. He never showed any signs of being sick, never went to the doctor. And it was a couple weeks before Christmas, and he went in and and they said, "You've got terminal cancer." They said, "You've got 6 months to live," and that was a shocker for us. It happened a couple weeks before Christmas, and he was a fighter, teaching people about setting goals. He was an inspiration for other people, and so he decided to fight it, and he did for about 20 months. And so it was right about that time that I realized that, hey, we needed to get this book finished.
Right.
And so we scrambled, we worked on it on and off, and it was about 3 weeks before he passed away when we actually got the first printed copy of the book. And I'll never forget that day, and I'll share it with you. He also grew up in Utah, and he had lived down here probably for about 10 years. Mm-hmm. And they had a condo up at Snowbird Ski Resort, so he always would go up there in the summers to get out of the heat.
Right.
And one of the last things that he wanted to do was to get up and spend some time in the mountains. And so against the odds, we got him up there. And he didn't know that I was working on this. My sister had actually helped me with the publisher, mm-hmm. and we rushed to get the copy of the book printed. And we were sitting on the balcony. And I don't know if you've ever been up in that part of the country, but at that high elevation, there's a lot of aspen tree leaves.
Right.
And aspen tree leaves, if there's a breeze that comes in, they just flicker back and forth.
Like they're waving.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
Yes. It's very, very beautiful. And so we're sitting on the balcony, just staring up at the mountains, enjoying nature. And it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so the sun's just to the right of the peaks. And the phone rang. And it was the front desk. They said, "Hey, we've got a package for Trapper." I knew exactly what it was. I went up and I grabbed it, and went out on the balcony, and I handed the package to my dad, and he opened it up and pulled out the book, and he was like a kid in a candy store. He was so excited and just stared at it. Then he opened it up, and we took turns reading excerpts, and I'd like to read to you what he actually read for that first time, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Okay, so he flips it open, and he says, 3 incredible gifts. Getting down to the most basics of basics, you need to realize that each day we're given 3 incredible gifts. They are the gift of time, without which activities cannot be executed. The gift of personal energy, essential for doing the activities. And the third one is the gift of choice to determine what activities we're going to do. Then he paused, and he choked up and started getting tears in his eyes, and he said, this cancer has taken away all 3 of these gifts from me.
Wow.
It's taken away my gift of time. I know I don't have much left. It's taken away my gift of personal energy, and, he had made a commitment later on in his life that he was going to hike to the summit, or to the peak, every summer, and he did. For 12 years.
Wow.
In a row, and this was the first year that his health had gotten so bad that he couldn't do that. So it was really tough on him. He just didn't have the energy and the gift of choice, Mm-hmm. So how do you respond to that? We were just sitting there and just supporting him. But, it was a turning point in my life. It made me realize that, I had gotten so pulled into technology and, the things that pull us into just the everyday activities that really mean nothing in the end. And it really made me take a close look at how I was living my life. And, he passed away 3 weeks later, and it was tough. It was tough on a lot of people, because he really affected a lot of people. But changed my life. It changed the life of a lot of other people. And I made a commitment at that time that I was going to go out and kind of continue on his legacy.
Pay
and
it forward.
The word. Yeah, so we've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'll tell you what, it was one of the best days of my life to be able to have him actually see what we've been working on for a long time. And if he knew now, which I'm sure he does, where we've gotten with this. I mean, now we're with an A publisher, and it's with Financial Times Press.
That is remarkable.
Yeah, so it's really fun. So anyway, that's a long story of kind of how the book came to fruition. And so we've been actually teaching the program for a number of years now. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of success with it. And then it was just this past October when Financial Times picked it up and published it out under their brand. And
Which is Pearson?
Yes, Pearson is one of the premier publishers in the educational space. So they do a lot of textbooks, and then Financial Times Press is one of their divisions, which does business books, and so that's who I work with. But I've been having a lot of fun the last couple of months. They're making a big push into colleges and universities and getting them to say, hey, you know what, students going back to school, especially in the career space. And I know that we deal with a lot of military students because I get emails from them where they may be working a full-time job. They have a family and kids, and now they're working on finishing their degree or changing a career, and it's how do they juggle all these activities and things?
Well, before, when they were in the military, their time was decided for them, so they didn't have to think. Mm-hmm. It was, this is what we're going to do, and this is when we're going to do it. Yeah. So getting out of the military and becoming a civilian, now going to go back into school, what a wonderful, I'm speechless. Believe it or not, on a radio show, I'm speechless. This is just, it is so important for anyone, whether it be a veteran, someone who's currently in the military, or a civilian. The distractions, we talked about technology. And technology nowadays, what takes up most of our time? Answering texts, checking our emails, that's what interrupts most of my time, but it's unbelievable. Where you spoke about your first, lawn mowing job.
Yeah, I know.
So were you like prime, your dad Trapper sounds like he was just your mentor.
He was, and it's funny, he got into this industry, it was his second career for him. And so, what many people don't know about him is that I grew up in the retail business.
No kidding.
My dad was in business with his brother and my grandfather, so it was his dad and his brother. There was three of them, and in the 70s and 80s, they sold women's shoes, believe it or not. And so they would lease shoe departments in major department stores, and then they eventually ended up with their own specialty stores, and they're kind of like a Nordstrom's, but on a much smaller scale. And they had 8 stores at one point, and then the economy took a downturn and affected all small businesses.
Now.
Yes, like now. And it was back in, and I'll never forget it, it was back in, it was 1988, believe it or not. Now we're really dating myself.
Well, I'm like, 88, because that's when I graduated. Yeah. So therefore, I just aged myself.
Well, we're in our best years right now.
Year.
It was a very, very tough year, and I was a junior in high school, so I remember it was like it was just yesterday, and it was tough. And but what was really interesting is that he kind of got into the family business by default. I don't think that he really loved it or wanted to do it. And when they closed the stores down, he needed to do something else. He was 50 years old. Oh. Imagine starting over from scratch at 50 with 4 kids.
Wow.
He didn't really know what he was going to do. And Charles Hobbs, who was a close friend of his, who was in the training business. Are you familiar with the Daytimer?
I am.
Organizers?
I was Franklin Covey.
Yeah, we don't like those.
I
those
know,
words,
but that's.
No, yeah, Franklin Covey, Daytimer, Mead. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. But Daytimer was one of the original brands that came out. They've been around for about 70 years. And I remember their 65th anniversary of when they came out, and that's a whole nother story. But Charles Hobbs was working with Daytimer. He delivered all their training, and he said, "Hey, Trapper," he said, "why don't you come work for me?" Just out of the blue. And so, he didn't skip a beat. He shut his stores down, and literally within a couple of months, he was up and he was out speaking, and he realized that this was his calling in life.
Wow.
He was natural and in front of people, and really enjoyed it. So it was exciting.
That's fantastic. What a great story. But we're going to take a short break, and then when we get back, we're going to continue our discussion with Mark.
Hey everybody, it's Adam from Vets On with Adam and James. Are you looking to improve your credit score? Do you need goal-oriented professional strategy to improve your credit that fits your busy lifestyle? Then eCreditSuccess.com is your site. They teach you the skills to help improve your credit while offering trade line acquisitions, error correction, 24/7 online tracking, discounts for military, and free consultation for being listener of VetsOnMedia.com. Signing up is easy, and they offer a no-risk refund policy in most programs based on a specific score increase determined prior to your enrollment. So call now and get started at 855-234-7334 or visit us online at VetsOnMedia.com and click on the eCredit Success logo on our homepage. Hey everybody, it's Adam from Vets On with Adam and James. Are you looking to support our troops any way that you can? Then check out veteran-owned OnPointUSA.biz. Proudly celebrate our soldiers with military and patriotic apparel. Also find war stories, articles, current events, and giveaways. And with every purchase that you buy, feel good knowing that the portion of the proceeds goes to the Special Operations Foundation. At OnPointUSA.biz, they believe in God-given right to live free and pursue of happiness by virtue of the sacrifice of the American soldier. Founded on honor, integrity, love, selfless service, they live these values and guarantee that their products and services reflect these values and this code. Founded by two guys from the Ranger Bat, they have served, fought, and therefore have a passionate understanding of the American soldier. So check out OnPointUSA.biz today and be a part of the support.
Business today is tough, and you need someone to watch your back. You need Business Battle Buddy. If you own a business, we'll help you recover your money at no upfront cost to you. We'll help you lower your costs at no upfront cost to you. We'll help you get special pricing deals at no upfront cost to you. We'll help you increase your sales at no upfront cost to you. We'll help you get the best possible deals and look out for your best interests at no upfront cost to you. Business today is tough, and you need someone to watch your back. You need a Business Battle Buddy. Take action and call Business Battle Buddy today at 602-539-2098. Again, that's 602-539-2098.
Hey everybody, it's Adam from Vets On with Adam and James. Do you need a place to go on your next vacation? Then enjoy the Inn of Patriots Bed and Breakfast, home of the Presidential Culinary Museum. It's owned by veterans and ranked number 1 for history worldwide. Staffed by 5 chefs, including a former White House chef, and 40% off any veteran with an ID card. Why wouldn't you want to visit? So much to do. Enjoy the historic museum, gift shop, underground poker parties, authentic Revolutionary War campsites, outdoor cigar lounge, spa, famous guided tour, including being led by candlelight underground, and so much more. With friendly service, why wouldn't you want to visit? Visit now, www.theinnpatriots.com today to set up your stay.
Do you need to advertise your small business? What about make t-shirts or make your own personal stationery? Anywhere from posters, bumper stickers, brochures, envelopes, banners, to business cards and more. Hey folks, this is James from Vets On Radio. Then you're headed on the right path. Go to www.betterdealprinting.com now. They're veteran owned, and they've got the largest selection of offset and digital products in the market today. And with the promo code VET, you're going to save 10% off your purchase. They serve all 50 states with a value and quality that you strive to simplify your life, and they offer eco-friendly products and affordable pricing. Visit www.betterdealprinting.com today. And remember, they can print almost anything.
Hey everybody, this is Adam from Vets On with Adam and James. Over a decade has passed now, and America is still wounded from the horrendous attacks that struck our hearts September 11th of 2001. Right now is our time to show our dedication, honor to all of those who have served in Iraq for our country. The Iraq Freedom Monument will be dedicated to all veterans of the Iraq campaign from every branch of service, as well as thousands of Americans who have lost their lives. For more information and ways you can help, visit www.iraqwarmonumentcapecoralfl.com. And remember, never take our freedom for granted because it's not free. So help donate today.
Welcome back to On the Move radio show. We are at IVEX Studios in Scottsdale, Arizona. I do want to let you know that we are sponsored by eCredit Success. Vets On Media has partnered with eCredit Success to offer free credit consultations and discounts for all veterans and military personnel. For more information, go to www.vetsonradio.com, click on the eCredit Success logo, and get your free consultation today. We're back with Mark Woods, successful entrepreneur and author of Attack Your Day Before It Attacks You. Mark.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, I we were just speaking before the break about, the book and it coming out and the impact it made. I always ask my guests, who was your mentor? But I know without a doubt who you're going to say.
Yeah.
So who was your mentor?
My mentor was my father, and it's tough when your mentors are so close to you if they're a family member, because you oftentimes take them for granted.
Correct.
Which I knew that I had taken for granted, the relationship that I had and the opportunities that were right there in front of me. I got involved in the business kind of by accident. I remember it was in 97, 98, and he was just making a big move with Daytimer, and
right.
They were doing a lot of training, and he said, we need some help in marketing, and I said, well, that's what I do. So my background, I went to school for marketing and business, and so at that time I had a marketing company. I was doing a lot of online marketing and lead generation and promotional stuff. So I started helping him on the side, and then being a young entrepreneur, I said, I really think that I can take this business to, 5 or 10 times what it is now, just by working that relationship with the Daytimer connection. So I sold my business to my partner. I bought my dad's partner out, and over the course of about 4 years, I was kind of getting in and out of the business, and so I was there. I was around it, and for 25 years, I got to go places and watch him speak. I mean, for 5 years, he was on the traveling circuit with, you probably don't remember it because it's another Office product, but Boise Office Solutions.
I
Do you remember them? And then they were
Yes.
bought by Office Max, which everybody knows about Office Max. And they used to put on these big, elaborate shows for their customers. They had so many customers that they would do about 6 to 10 events a year in major markets. And they would invest hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, they had the whole market. They were the one.
Yes. So they would go to Chicago and Philadelphia and Dallas, and I never forget it. My dad called up. He says, "You're never going to believe this, but I've been invited." Daytimer was one of the sponsors. They had 5 sponsors. They had 5 speakers. So each sponsor was paying for a speaker, and then they had a celebrity speaker. So they were the keynote, right?
Oh, who was it?
So Barbara Bush.
Oh, I love her. My
Grandma
in-laws
Bush.
are going to cringe right now.
Yeah, so she was the speaker, the very first one that he was doing, and so he took me with him. He says, "I want you to come. I want you to run the slides."
Oh.
So I actually sat up on stage in the corner, and I was running his PowerPoint slides as he talked, and it was only 35 minutes, I believe, was each talk, and then Barbara Bush came on, and he was right before Barbara Bush, and there were 1,000 people in the audience.
I can imagine.
And so as we were preparing for this, they said, because you're one of the speakers, you're going to have lunch with Barbara Bush. So the FBI,
Oh, my gosh.
So then they said the FBI has to do a background check on you guys, make sure everything's
Go right
cool.
ahead. I'm going to be sitting right there.
Sure. So, nothing goes as planned, right? That's what we talk about, time and activity management. And so we get down there, we do the event, we get pushed into the back room, and there's Barbara Bush, and everybody's a little standoffish and timid. And they said, we've got some bad news, but she doesn't have time to have lunch with us today, but she's going to answer questions and stuff. And, I'm a young kid. I'm still in
Deer in the headlights.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
So we're standing there, and it just gets totally quiet. And I said, "Barbara, can I get a picture with you?" She says, "Yeah, if you hurry up." So I stood there and got a picture with her, and then all of a sudden the whole room is scrambling. Can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? And
see
and
what
I
you
still
started?
Have that, I know, and I still have that picture. And it's just that was one of those fun memories. But circling back to the question that you said, of him being my mentor, and we all have mentors in our life.
Absolutely.
Mentors are extremely important in both our business and in our personal life. We have to have mentors.
I agree. Every different part, I have mentors for different parts of what I look for. My mother, hugely inspirational, single parent for so many years. She worked really hard, gives me the drive I do. Randy, he just keeps pushing me. It's his parents are the perfect role models for relationships. So every different part of you you could have a handful of mentors. I do.
Absolutely.
I do. So,
and a lot of times we have mentors and we don't realize the impact that they have on us until they're gone, right?
Right.
So I would encourage everybody out there listening tonight that, think about it. Go to a quiet place. Think about who is your encouragers in life, in both your work and your personal life, and decide to begin to cultivate those relationships.
Absolutely.
And it'll make a big difference, regardless of what it is that you want to do. And if you're looking for a job, find somebody that can help you prepare for that. So
absolutely. If you're job seeking, finding someone who has been there is your perfect opportunity to grow yourself.
Yeah.
And, now that we've kind of sifted through how you got to the book, let's kind of talk about a little bit of the programs. And, there's 5 skills that you're looking for. So kind of let's talk about those 5 skills. People, the audience, they may not know what 5 skills.
Yeah. That's so the book is, what it is when you hear the title, Attack Your Day Before It Attacks You. And we all feel like this every day, that we're always getting attacked because we may have the best plan, but by 9 o'clock in the morning, we get pulled into another direction.
It's gone.
Yep. And all of a sudden our day blows up. And so we'll talk about that. So we wrote the book based on 5 activity management skills. We say that, time management, I don't like the words time management because it's been around for a long time.
It's so restrictive.
Yes. And we don't manage time.
Not anymore.
No.
It used to be maybe 10, 20 years ago. You went to work from 8 to 5. From 8 to 10, you did this. From 10 to noon, you did this.
Yeah.
And, not anymore.
It's funny that you say that. I was on the airplane last month. I had a really heavy travel schedule, and I was coming back from Florida, and I was talking to a gentleman on the airplane sitting next to me. And I usually don't talk to people. I'm tired after an event. I usually just kind of crash. And we just started talking, and that topic came up. He said, I remember when I was a kid, and my dad would come home after work, and that was our time. There were no computers, there were no cell phones. And then I remember that day that they put in a second phone line dedicated for business and for fax.
Oh, so it wasn't a teen line.
No.
It was...
Yes. And then things changed, and then all of a sudden you have the computers, and it's just like that time just disappears. And so, we say that the new time management day is activity management, because that's what we do. We go from one activity to the next. From the moment we wake up until the time we go to bed, we're just transitioning from one thing to another, right?
Well, it feels responsive, that we're responding to all the things that come at us.
Now, you say responding to things that come at us. Those are the interruptions and the distractions, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great segue into the first skill.
Yay!
The first skill in the book is called the skill of choosing.
Oh.
Choosing and refusing the activities that we do are either going to take us closer towards our goals in life, or they're going to take us in the opposite direction, which is what? Overwhelm, right?
Well, sometimes it's hard to say no.
It's very hard to say no. In fact, we talk about that at our workshops and have a lot of fun. But the old ways that we were taught how to manage time and prioritize activities, the ABC 1, 2, 3 methodology, it just doesn't work today.
No.
There's too many things going on, and so we have come up with a new way of prioritizing activities using color. Now, you're familiar with the traffic light, right?
I am very...
Today, as you were driving down the street, what did you do when you came to a red traffic light?
Well, I stopped.
You did,
I
right?
paused. No, I'm kidding. Mom, I really stopped.
Yeah. So we've programmed ourselves that when we see a red traffic light, we stop, right?
Right.
We automatically do it. We don't think about it. So we use the color red to stand for events and activities that are vital and they're urgent. In other words, we have to stop whatever it is that we're doing and go take care of this thing right now. So
Right.
what would be a good example of a red event in your life, maybe that happened this week?
Oh, this week? Mm-hmm. A doctor's
Totally.
appointment.
Okay. Came up, you had to go to the doctor.
Right.
And an urgent request from a boss, a customer complaint maybe. We always used to say when the internet goes down, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that would be detrimental
Crisis.
right here, right? If the internet went down for what we're doing.
Nobody could hear us.
Out of, even things at home like when we run out of milk. And
Right.
we have children and, we have to stop and get milk late at night. So the reds are the things that pull us into a different direction. We have to take care of them. So those are pretty much a no-brainer, right?
Right.
So, vital and urgent, we have to stop. Now, what's the next color? The next color is green. Now, what
like
did you
green.
do when you came to a green traffic light?
Well, I just
You just kept going, right?
accelerated.
Yeah. Again, we've programmed ourselves that when we see the color green, we go and we don't really even think about it.
No.
Green means go. So green activities are not they're not urgent, they're vital. In other words, green activities are the things that we want to do today.
Right.
So when we're planning out our day, we want most of the things on we call our to-do list, our activity list, right? Because that's
Okay.
what they are.
Right.
We want all those to be green activities. Green is where the money's made, right?
Absolutely.
Green is where we have some sense of balance in our life. So, for example, I know that if I'm working on a green activity such as exercising,
Right.
I'm being physically fit is one of my long-term values and goals, and so working out is one of those things. And I know that when I do that early in the morning, I'm much more productive during the day. It's pushing me towards that goal, right? And when I don't, I begin to get that opposite
Sluggish.
effect. Exactly. So green activities are the ones that are pushing us in the right direction. So yellow.
Oh,
What do you think yellow
caution.
stands for? Caution. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. So I'm going to ask you the question for the last time. What did you do when you saw a yellow traffic light?
Well, there's the right answer here would be I slowed down. The wrong
Yeah.
answer would be I accelerated faster. No.
Yeah, the true
Kidding.
answer is
Yes.
when you see
Pause,
yellow,
you slow down.
you think about it, right? You in your head you think, can I make it? And then you have to make that quick decision. You're either going
Right.
to press on the accelerator
Or
and
slam
punch
on
it or slam on the brakes. But when you do press on the accelerator, what do you do as soon as you make it through? You're looking to the left and to the right to see if anybody
Who's
saw
behind
you.
me?
That's right. That's right. So yellow is caution. We have to become master editors of some voicemail, some email requests, some text messages. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So these yellow activities are the ones that really kill our productivity. It's the text messages. I see it every day when I'm working with businesses. The cell phone rings and we automatically answer it. It doesn't really matter whether or not we're standing in a conversation. Like if you and I, for
Right.
example, are standing in the hallway, we're having a conversation, we're working together, and we're discussing something that's important, right? It's a green.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the cell phone rings.
Red.
Yes, it's always a red, right? Or it gives us the illusion of being red when it's really not. So here's how powerful this is in terms of prioritizing interruptions and distractions. That is the biggest secret that we can share with people tonight or that are listening to this show on something that they can really have a big impact on their life. But I want to introduce you to one other color first. It's
What color?
It's the color gray.
Gray.
I know it's not part of a traffic light, but we use the color gray to stand for things that are not vital, they're not urgent. In other words, a complete waste of time, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Too much internet, too much television, gossip is a big one. Facebook. It's funny.
Facebook can suck you in for hours.
I know. It's funny. When the Super Bowl came out, and I get pulled into it just as much as everybody. I teach this stuff and I constantly work on it, but I slip. It's like being on watching our weight, being on a diet. We have to continually work on this stuff.
So
like
do you
everything
find
else.
yourself answering the phone, or have you trained yourself? Come on, honestly. Come on, it's just us.
Us and all the listeners out there. I have gotten a lot better at it, but every once in a while I find myself, I catch myself of doing what I don't want to do. In fact, it's not a fun memory that I have, but I'm going to share a story with you really quickly about that. So, BlackBerry. Now I'm an iPhone man now. I took the long transition from PC to Mac and then the iPhone, but I had a BlackBerry for a long time. And that's where I was introduced to Facebook on my BlackBerry. And so I was always on it. And then I was always checking my email, right? And I got sucked into this zone where every 5 minutes I was checking my phone. And I was doing it at the worst possible times, and I actually talk about it in the book. And we talked about my dad earlier, and towards the end, it just wasn't pretty.
Right.
And he wanted to go to a movie. So we took him out to a movie, and we went to dinner in a movie, and it was just the immediate family. And
right.
I have a couple of brothers and my sister and my mom, and so there were the six of us, or the seven. My sister-in-law came too, and we're at dinner. And the movie, we were going to see Salt. Do you remember the movie with Angelina Jolie? That was
really?
the last. Yeah. It was.
Why?
I know. It was the only. It was the only good movie that was out at the time. And,
okay.
And so now I have these memories that are tied to that movie. But we're sitting in the restaurant, and my dad he wasn't really eating at that point.
Right.
And I was sitting next to my dad. My sister was next to me, and I kept checking my Facebook. And my dad, all he had to do was make one comment.
Oh.
He looks at me, and he says, "Mark, you're contaminating time."
Oh. Wow.
And that's all he says.
That would stop me. So when you saw me look at my phone just a few minutes ago, because
yes.
Mom and Ellen texted me and said, "We like Barbara Bush," were you going to say?
Yeah.
Were you going to say you're contaminating time?
Well, I would now because you would understand it.
I would.
So, but, I sank into my chair.
Wow.
And that was a turning point where I realized that I had let technology control us. It's funny because we talk about this.
The switch flipped.
The switch flipped. And I really approached technology from a different way then. And I'm sure everybody out there listening can relate to how technology has kind of taken over our lives. We're wired 24 hours a day.
Taken over.
It has. Because if you think about it, it's affecting our relationships, not just at work, but our personal relationships too. And
right.
I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people that have said, technology is really putting this divide between me and my husband or me and my wife.
Wow.
Because we're not connecting anymore.
Well, there's no verbal communication and that interaction. You look in the eyes. It's more of a text.
Yep.
Hey, love you.
Mm-hmm.
See you at dinner.
Yeah.
And it's
we're disconnecting.
I agree.
And so it's something that we've been talking about, and it's going to be a subject that you might see us address here in the next year. But technology and these kinds of things. So.
Well, how would you bridge that?
Okay, great question.
And we have, did you see the 3-minute warning sign?
Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll pull it all together. So we've been talking about now, up to this point, the first skill in the book, Attack Your Day Before It Attacks You, the skill of choosing, right?
Right.
I introduced you to the formula of prioritizing our events and activities. So if you're sitting down at the table and you're going to decide, okay, well, I've got 10 things to do today, you decide which ones are red, green, yellow.
Color code them.
Right, you color code them. So you write R for
good.
red, G for green, Y for yellow. And that's as deep as you have to go in terms
But
of
you
prioritizing.
talked about gray.
But gray is only to remind us of when we slip into the gray zone, right?
Okay.
So
I'm with you.
Here's how you pull it together. I'm going to introduce you to the most powerful question you can ever ask yourself. It's, what color is this? So when your phone rings, in your mind, you say, what color is this? Is it red, green, yellow, or gray when you're looking at the caller ID, right?
Right.
When you stop in the hallway, you have a conversation with somebody. In your mind, you don't want to say it out loud, but you say, what color is this? Because
Well,
you know.
you are red.
Right. So you know, and so that's why this is so powerful in terms of how we prioritize, because we have to prioritize the interruptions and the distractions, and that's what will help us to stay focused. So,
And before we go on a break, everyone keep in mind, what color is this? And we'll be back in just a moment.
It's Adam from Vets On with Adam and James. Are you looking to improve your credit score? Do you need goal-oriented professional strategy to improve your credit that fits your busy lifestyle? Then eCreditSuccess.com is your site. They teach you the skills to help improve your credit while offering trade line acquisitions, error correction, 24/7 online tracking, discounts for military, and free consultation for being listener of VetsOnMedia.com. Signing up is easy, and they offer a no-risk refund policy in most programs based on a specific score increase determined prior to your enrollment. So call now and get started at 855-234-7334 or visit us online at VetsOnMedia.com and click on the eCredit Success logo on our homepage. Hey everybody, it's Adam from Vets On with Adam and James. Are you looking to support our troops any way that you can? Then check out veteran-owned OnPointUSA.biz. Proudly celebrate our soldiers with military and patriotic apparel. Also find war stories, articles, current events, and giveaways. And with every purchase that you buy, feel good knowing that the portion of the proceeds goes to the Special Operations Foundation. At OnPointUSA.biz, they believe in God-given right to live free and pursuit of happiness by virtue of the sacrifice of the American soldier. Founded on honor, integrity, love, selfless service, they live these values and guarantee that their products and services reflect these values and this code. Founded by two guys from the Ranger Bat, they have served, fought, and therefore have a passionate understanding of the American soldier. So check out OnPointUSA.biz today and be a part of the support.
Business today is tough, and you need someone to watch your back. You need Business Battle Buddy. If you own a business, we'll help you recover your money at no upfront cost to you. We'll help you lower your costs at no upfront cost to you. We'll help you get special pricing deals at no upfront cost to you. We'll help you increase your sales at no upfront cost to you. We'll help you get the best possible deals and look out for your best interests at no upfront cost to you. Business today is tough, and you need someone to watch your back. You need a Business Battle Buddy. Take action and call Business Battle Buddy today at 602-539-2098. Again, that's 602-539-2098.
Hey everybody, it's Adam from Vets On with Adam and James. Do you need a place to go on your next vacation? Then enjoy the Inn of Patriots Bed and Breakfast, home of the Presidential Culinary Museum. It's owned by veterans and ranked #1 for history worldwide. Staffed by 5 chefs, including a former White House chef, and 40% off any veteran with an ID card. Why wouldn't you want to visit? So much to do. Enjoy the historic museum, gift shop, underground poker parties, authentic Revolutionary War campsites, outdoor cigar lounge, spa, famous guided tour, including being led by candlelight underground, and so much more. With friendly service, why wouldn't you want to visit? Visit now, www.theinpatriots.com today to set up your stay.
Do you need to advertise your small business? What about make t-shirts or make your own personal stationery? Anywhere from posters, bumper stickers, brochures, envelopes, banners, to business cards and more. Hey folks, this is James from Vets On Radio. Then you're headed on the right path. Go to www.betterdealprinting.com now. They're veteran owned, and they've got the largest selection of offset and digital products in the market today. And with the promo code VET, you're going to save 10% off your purchase. They serve all 50 states with a value and quality that you strive to simplify your life, and they offer eco-friendly products and affordable pricing. Visit www.betterdealprinting.com today. And remember, they can print almost anything.
Hey everybody, this is Adam from Vets On with Adam and James. Over a decade has passed now, and America is still wounded from the horrendous attacks that struck our hearts September 11th of 2001. Right now is our time to show our dedication, honor to all of those who have served in Iraq for our country. The Iraq Freedom Monument will be dedicated to all veterans of the Iraq campaign from every branch of service, as well as thousands of Americans who have lost their lives. For more information and ways you can help, visit www.iraqwarmonumentcapecoralfl.com. And remember, never take our freedom for granted because it's not free. So help donate today.
Welcome back to On the Move radio show. We're at iVetX Studios in Scottsdale, Arizona. And we have been having a great time with Mark, author of Attack Your Day Before It Attacks You. And he left us with a very important question.
What color is this?
Yes. So if you have everybody that's listening, if you've decided what color different things are, you're well on your way.
Yeah, and we have so much fun with this because it really kind of ties into everything that we do, and I can't stress enough how important it is to have a way to prioritize the interruptions, the distractions that come our way. Now, there's two types. There's the ones that come from other people, and then there's the ones that we self-impose on ourselves. Like
we create them.
Yes. Facebook's a great one, right?
Ugh.
We go out to Facebook or email because we choose when we check
Look at
our
it,
email.
right.
Yeah. So we have to be mindful of these things when we're doing it, prioritize. So, I know that I spent quite a bit of time talking about that first skill, but there are 4 more, and we'll highlight the rest of them. The second skill is the skill of arranging.
Oh.
So we always ask this question in our workshops. We say, all right, now that we've talked about the skill of choosing, I want to ask you a question. What's on your plate today? And then I put up a visual of all these black dots on a plate. And I said, this is my blue plate special, right? Now imagine that every one of those black dots, and there's like 25 of them,
right,
is something that you have to do today. What does that do to you inside, right?
Oh, it creates chaos.
Exactly, because you don't know what to do first. And then you're so overwhelmed, you don't know what you're going to do.
And then Facebook sounds really good when it's like that.
Yeah, we my dad always used to say, we tend to gravitate towards the things that are fun, that are quick, that are easy, and we procrastinate. And I don't think that there's a lot of people out there that love to make phone calls, like sales calls, right?
Right.
And that's the easiest thing to procrastinate, right? So we check our email, we check our Facebook, and we say, all right, well, as soon as I do this, I'll do that. And then we put these things off that we want to procrastinate. And then it's 2:00 in the afternoon. We say, I got to
make sales calls.
It's too late to call them. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, they're not going to be available.
So we have to be able to be diligent in terms of how we arrange our day.
Right.
So we say that in the skill of arranging, there's 2 types of time. There's our non-discretionary time, and that's simply the things that are scheduled. They happen at a specific time. Like this show was scheduled at a specific time, right? And everybody listening, they had it on their calendar that they needed to listen.
They knew we were going to talk.
Exactly. So that's non-discretionary time. It's somewhat set in stone. The other type is our discretionary time, and that is the rest of our day. So if we have 5 things that are scheduled, they happen at a specific time during the day. Maybe it's somebody who's looking for a job. They've got a job interview that's scheduled. That would happen at a specific time. Maybe it would be an activity of doing a recon, right? So I've got an interview tomorrow at 2:00. Today I'm going to do a little recon. I'm going to do research on the business. So I would do that,
so I'm more
in my
informed,
discretionary
right.
time. Yeah. So that's the skill of arranging. It's how do we arrange the activities and then we attack them. The third skill is tracking.
Oh,
Tracking
very important.
all activities.
All activities
to ensure that nothing falls through the cracks.
That's like when you make a budget and you have to track how much you really spent.
Well, think about it. When you start your day with a plan, you have an attack plan. You know what you're going to do, and maybe it's just a simple list. Maybe you've prioritized it now with red, green, yellow, and at the end of the day, you go back and you identify all the ones that you've crossed off or checked off. It's a satisfying feeling, right?
Absolutely.
So that's one of the reasons why we need to track our day. And one of the biggest mistakes that most people make today is that we rush into our day. We get up in the morning, the first thing that we do, we hit send and receive on our PDA, right? on our iPhone or our BlackBerry.
Or
we check
we roll
our
over to
email.
the nightstand, then we
Yeah,
click it to see
exactly.
you before we even get out of bed.
Yeah, that's a big problem when we use our iPhones or our BlackBerry or our smartphones as our
Right.
as our alarm clock.
Yes.
Because it's so tempting to do that, and I catch myself.
I do it every
especially
morning.
when
I'm
I'm
bad.
in on the road in the hotel, you know. But you know what happens when we do that? Now all of a sudden you've turned into you've slipped into a reactive mode, because now you're reading the emails that people have sent to you, and now all of a sudden you're responding to that. So instead of planning your day, now all of a sudden you go through the day reacting.
So you're setting yourself up for a little bit of failure.
Exactly. So you're reacting to what other people are sending to you in instead of planning your day. So tracking all activities. We don't have time to go into that, but we have a formula on how we walk you through tracking your time. We say tracking your time in buckets. We have 6 buckets in our book. So if you pick up the book, you'll identify 6 types of time that you carry. And then we have 2 left. And the 4th skill is, we were talking about this on the break, is what? You know what it is?
What?
Flexecuting.
Flexecuting. That was that blog that described me.
So, you know, my dad, he came up with this term flexecuting a long time ago.
And it's perfect.
And, yeah, you know, because we have to be flexible today.
Oh, my goodness.
And
yes.
so there's a lot of different things we talk about in the skill of flexecute, but the 2 big that come to mind are multitasking and alternate tasking.
Right.
First of all, when those reds come to us during the day, we have to flexecute, right?
Right.
Because we didn't plan for it to happen, and now all of a sudden we get pulled into that direction. So, you know, we say that if you want to be good at flexecuting, it's being wired 24 hours a day without letting it be a source of frustration. It's being able to go after opportunities during the day. So it's leaving your activity list as you are willing to stick to it. And then it's knowing when to multitask and when to alternate task. Do you know what the difference is?
Well, I know you're going to share it with everybody, so tell us.
Well, what would be, you know, everybody multitasks. And it's funny, I've done a lot of research on it, and there's been studies that actually say that when we begin to multitask, we're less efficient.
Absolutely.
Our IQs actually drop.
Oh,
because
really?
we're dividing our time on 2 tasks, so nothing has our complete focus, right? So it usually takes us longer to do these things when we think we're actually working much faster. So
Well, you think, I'm juggling all these things,
Yeah.
and what's really coming out of it?
Yes, and you know, I've gotten in arguments with people about this that say that I'm extremely good, not me, but them being extremely good at multitasking. And some people are very good at it, and they can do that because they've just been programmed that way. But I'm very against multitasking.
The effectiveness.
Yes. So the opposite is alternate tasking. And alternate tasking is simply switching from one activity to the next where you have complete focus. And that's simply it. So, you know, I might be working on a task for an activity for 10 minutes. Then I might switch gears and check my email. I'm focusing on each one because I know I'm going from one to the next instead of doing it at the same time. And then the last skill is just simply the skill of focus. And without focus, we can't get anything accomplished.
No.
So we have a few things we talk about there, but that's pretty much the premise of the book. It's 5 skills. Now, we have 101 productivity strategies that make up the rest of the book. We've designed that so that each day you can read one in a couple of minutes, and it'll give you an idea or something that you can work on during that day. So we encourage people to keep the book around and keep it on their desk.
Now, you have some training programs. So,
We do.
You know, if you don't know already, attackyourday.com. And just know you can go there. You can order the book. You can go to Amazon.com, order the book.
Yes. So the book is available. The easiest way to get it, it's in some bookstores, but Amazon.com is the quickest way to get it. And we also have training that goes along with it. It's online training. But I do want to, and we didn't talk about this before, but I wanted to make something special for the listeners. And even if people are listening to this as it's been recorded and not listening live, if people who are listening to this buy the book at Amazon.com.
Okay.
They send me an email. I'm going to give out my email. So it's Mark, M-A-R-K, at attackyourday.com.
Very easy, everybody. Mark
Email
at
me.
Attack Your Day.
Email me. Let me know that you bought the book. Post a review. I will give you access to our Attack Your Day training program on demand, which
No
is a
kidding.
$250 value. Yeah. And we've been doing this with certain groups, with the publisher, but I felt like I wanted to do something like that. So if you're interested in learning about it, you buy the book, we'll give you the training for free.
That is
but you
phenomenal.
have to email me.
Thank you so much. Wow. That's fantastic. Again, you made me speechless. What if somebody says, well, I don't have a problem with my time.
Everybody has a problem with their time. It's funny. I've started doing this just in the last couple of months in my workshops and in the speeches that I've been doing. I asked the question. I said, when was the last time that at the end of the day you looked at your to-do list, right? That's that's what everybody calls it, and everything that you set out to do was crossed off. I've never had anybody put up their hand because we don't, right? And, other experts out there talk about it, and it was one of the first things that you said. We attempt to do too much.
Absolutely.
We're all overachievers. And I don't care what you do, whether you're working, whether you're a stay-at-home mom and you have children. We all attempt too much. And that's the big problem. So, anyway.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you coming in today. I wish we had another hour
Yeah, I
because
know.
I'm going to have you on again.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about your programs and, you're going to have another book coming out. I can see it.
There's two. There's two in the works. And I kind of gave you a seed of the first topic. So
Very good.
anyway, I've had a great time, and I appreciate
Mark.
the opportunity.
Well, I appreciate it. And just know that next week coming up, we're going to be talking to iVetX.com, the nation's one and only veteran job matching system. Until next week, be on the move.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner